What the fuck is up, everybody? Oh my goodness, you know what I'm doing? I gotta bring you over here. There we go. Hopefully that didn't mess anything up. Let me know if you guys hear it because I didn't have it on the live interview, but we're good. Everybody, hey, how's it going today? Wednesday at 3 p.m. John Fitch and I, Corey Capella, come to you live with Red Pill Smash Bros. This is episode number 9. John, we're growing. This is epic.
Yeah, putting in some work, having some
Loving
good
it.
discussions, man. Yeah.
I'm loving it, loving it, loving it. So, John, again, introductions for those people out there that don't know John Fitch.
Oh, yeah. I am a longtime MMA fighter. Been doing it 17 years. I've won world titles, fought best guys in the business. Been through my ups and downs, financially, relationship stuff. Kind of got red pilled in the relationship area when I got divorced, or I'm going through the divorce still, actually, after 15 years of relationship. I want to make sure that there's a stronger future ahead for my children. I got 2 sons, and there's just a lot of people out there who I notice who are struggling and they shouldn't be. And little things here and there, little knowledge that if I would have had at an earlier age, I would have been a lot more successful. Just want to kind of help out the world so my sons have a better world to be in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. At a deep down core level of myself, that's also too, I guess, what I'm doing. I do not have children yet that I know of, at least. I've always dreamed of being the father that I never had. If that makes any sense. It sounds kind of, whatever. But my thing is that when I have kids, when I have sons, I want them to grow up in a world where they learn the lessons, hopefully sooner than how I had to learn them. And this isn't to say whatsoever that I am going to entitle them at all. Like, trust me, if you witness this years down the road, you're probably going to look at how I treat my sons in some aspects of life where you're going to be like, damn, that dude's fucking harsh. But at the same token, I've kind of designed and figured out a way how men, like boys, need to be mentored into men. Mm-hmm. And, it's something that I'm talking about big time in my second book. I'm very, very excited to get through this book. I think I'm only about a fourth of the way through it right now, though, so I got to keep going. But the great part is, and these are the conversations that, we're having right now, is we're talking to people, and we're getting some of these ideas out in the open right now so we can have these discussions and we can continue to grow. For those of you guys that are stopped in right now, we have a couple viewers. Please do ensure that you give us a thumbs up right here in the beginning to get the algorithm out there and spread the word a little bit more, especially because John and I we're kicking some ass lately. I'm going to be honest with you. People are loving the message, and, we're getting a lot of questions. People are coming on and they're talking to us, and, they're following John on his shake break every single day, and they're coming over to me and they're following me when I go on Dude Party and all this other stuff, and questions, it's circulating, guys. Like, things are developing right now, and that's the beauty of this, is that this isn't just me and John. This is also you guys having a conversation, and this is also you guys putting forth what needs to be heard, and it's absolutely a fucking beautiful thing that we're doing here. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I think there's man, I think it's funny. I keep having these same conversations with people. We start talking about this type of stuff. When we start breaking down human behavior into its most basic animal form, break it down into the sexual market, people get really offended, and they really do not want to believe it. They're so ego invested in the belief of this. There's one person out there for me, it's wild.
If you were to break that down to one root belief, what does that come from, do you believe?
I believe it's something to do with, it all comes down to survival. Everything's broken down into survival. Mm-hmm. So I think that the idea has been instilled into us through the agricultural age, right? When we started staying in one place, growing our food, raising cattle in one spot. That's when we started pairing off one and one. Well, societally speaking, it was necessary for each and every one person to bond, to pair bond and have a bunch of babies, because that the guaranteed survival for you as an individual, and as a family unit, and as the community together. More hands meant more people to kill animals, to raise food, to farm, to build shelters, to do all the hard stuff. You had more, and it was
Build the technology that we have today.
yeah. It was well. I mean, and that agriculture led to people being able to have more free time because they could plan ahead and store food. Well, now survival started becoming a little bit easier because they were stuck in one place. They had their animals. They didn't have to go out hunting. They didn't have to, they could build walls around their towns to keep out invaders and predators.
Yep.
Right. So things became much safer, a lot much safer. And, 20,000 years of that kind of ingrained into you. That was the culture. It's just, that's what everybody valued. And I think that's changed now today because a lot of people are not being raised up into the value of that type of culture. So I don't know if we're ever going to go back into that type of.
The internet opened us up to a more primitive form of the sexual market.
Yeah.
It opened us up to.
Yes, and advanced at the same time. I mean,
exactly. Yeah. No, it was like it's like sexual market 2.0 in a way. It's still there's a wild, wild west. The sexual revolution, revolution for women.
3.0 maybe.
Yeah. There we go.
Because you had pre-agriculture, agriculture, and then now whatever this is happening. Now.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Industrialization and technology.
Well, then you throw in female sexual liberation, and now women have. The box of dicks, they have the ability to drive too. They're making their own money, so they don't have to rely on men.
Yep.
And
they're their own source of security.
Exactly. Oh, that in the government. Yeah. So you run into a lot of guys where still from the 1940s, we've been brought up with this whole Peter Pan, Disney, all this other stuff. There's the one that's out there for you. All I have to do is just go to school, graduate high school, either get a job right away or go get a degree that's going to make me a little bit more advanced.
Become a useful provider.
Exactly. A nice, secure, useful. Yep.
Become a useful provider, and I get a check.
Exactly. And it's almost like it's issued. It's almost like it's issued to me.
Yeah.
Okay, someone provided me with the success steps. All I got to do is just follow these fucking simple steps right here and really just like not step out of line. Don't go to jail, right? Don't fuck anything up. And I'm going to be able to get and procreate. Oh, perfect. Yep. That's easy. That's awesome, right? Just no competition, no nothing. And the sad part is it almost like it turns you into a fucking milquetoast, spineless shell of a human being because you're not being challenged and you don't really have to challenge yourself. It's like, okay, well, the next 65 years of my life is pretty much mapped out for me to achieve happiness, right? And then once I turn 65, I've already have kids and I'll probably have grandkids and I just retire and I could play shuffleboard down in fucking Sun City, Florida. You know what I mean? Like that's all I got to do. All right, cool. That's not a bad exchange, but it's crazy because yesterday I go to school on Tuesdays. I got to sit in a 4-hour long class. That's how I get paid to go to school because of my GI Bill. So I go to school, and we have our dinner break, and I'm sitting there because I bring my food. I got my nice little half a cup of white rice and 6 ounces of chicken or turkey and some broccoli. It's good. I'm just sitting there and I'm eating, and one of the guys leans over and he's like, "Hey Corey, how's your YouTube channel going?" I'm like, "Oh, it's going well. We're building it up. I partnered up with this guy, UFC fucking title holder and all this other stuff, and it's kicking ass. And I just created this website called the WarTribe.com. Like, you should check it out. It's a means for guys to kind of like come together and start talking about all these issues and stuff." And he's like, "Well, like what are guys having to talk about?" I was like, well, the state of masculinity today and, all the things that are kind of going on with, loveless marriages and all this other stuff. And he like stops me there. He's like, "Wait, loveless marriages? Like, what do you mean?" I'm like, "Oh, well, it's this kind of idea and this belief system that, people need to be equal in their relationships. And, most men aren't raised on how to actually have good relationships with women, and they end up losing kind of their identity and stuff." And he's like, "What do you mean by that? I've been married for 8 years now." And I'm like, "Okay, so can I ask you a question? I'm like, are you still in love with her?" He's like, yeah, of course. I'm like, "How's the sex? Are you guys still having sex?" He's like, "Oh, the sex is getting better." And I look at him, I go, "Really,
better?
bro?" I'm like, "Really?" He's like, yeah. And he's like, actually, you know what? You're kind of partially right. you're kind of part right. He's like, you know, when I did get out of the military, of the Marine Corps, he's like, I kind of just lost everybody, and I kind of had to turn to my wife to be my best friend. But you know what? She's the one that pushes me, and she's the one that kind of like points out my flaws and helps me build. And I was like, where's your guy friend for that?
Why aren't you doing that for yourself? Not even your guy friends.
Yeah.
Why aren't you pushing yourself? Why aren't you holding yourself accountable? Why
he's like,
you
you know, I did.
on
He's like, I
another
did get
person?
out of shape. He's like, you know, I know you could probably sit here and say that I'm not as disciplined as I was when I was in the military and all this stuff. He's like, I did get out of shape. He's like, I'm working on that though. And then like he starts kind of thinking a little bit, and like our first 5 minutes of that conversation was him just like attacking back because his ego investment was attacked. Wait, like what you're telling me what I've invested my entire life and all my resources into is the wrong way of doing things? And the second I asked the question, of course he was going to counteract by saying, of course, everything was happy. But you know, the big thing that I don't think, and when I talk to guys today and I ask them that question, are you happy? Their immediate answer is always going to be yes. But then I look them up and down. And that's all I got to do is I just sit there and I look them up and down. I'm just like, but are you really?
My thing is, you shouldn't have to ask a person if they're happy. Like, generally happy people exude like a vibe, you know? Like,
but
my kids are so happy. Like when I take them places, like people's faces light up.
Right.
It's like, oh my God, your kids are such happy kids, even though they're like climbing off of shit.
Yeah.
Like they're having a good time. They're not out of line, but they're having a good time. They're enjoying life. And like, you can tell when somebody's trapped in a soulless relationship.
But go ask that guy who's trapped in the cubicle fucking day job, who's going through the system, who's doing all this stuff, and you ask him the question, are you happy? What's he going to say to you? He's going to say yes. Why? Because he was given these ingredients that taught him from the get-go. This is what happiness is. But if you actually look at them,
there's pedestalization of women also. So if you have a woman, if you're married, then you're a winner. And that's enough. And I don't want to bash marriage altogether anyways.
Right.
You know, like if you have your frame set and you maintain your frame into the marriage, then absolutely. There's definitely possibilities for happy. You know, my parents are proof of that.
Right.
Most guys don't set that frame and they lose the frame, and then they're spending their whole time doing what the woman says and pleasing the woman.
And I tried to I tried to introduce frame to him, and he's like, what? Like getting all offended about this stuff.
This is the way to make the woman happy, but really the woman is just resenting you.
Yeah, for sure.
They don't want to tell you what to do. They don't want to boss you around. They don't want another son. They don't want another little kid.
Again, you know, some of the questions that I could have started digging deeper on is this, like, okay, you're telling me that the sex is getting better, but you know, how's the sex for your wife? You've put on, you know, from the time you married her 8 years ago, you've put on close to 50, 60 pounds. I'm sure she's probably in the same boat too. Do you think that really truly represents happiness? Do you think getting fat, lazy, and losing, you know, your sex appeal? And that's when I started getting into it. He's like, man, maintaining this stuff in my relationship is hard. I was like, yeah, you need to learn seduction and you need to seduce your wife. She's not just obligated to give you that. And he's like, dude, you're so right. Like, you're teaching guys how to do stuff like this. And I'm like, absolutely. Like, nobody's taught them this. He's like, that's huge. Yeah. And that's part of frame. Another guy chimes in. He's listening to this conversation. He's like, dude, what you're doing is epic. Like, if you're talking about, you know, bringing like 12, 13-year-old boys in and like kind of bringing them in, like initiating them into manhood and stuff. He's like, I got a 12-year-old son right now who's definitely starting to become a man. He's like 6 foot. He's in the Muay Thai. He kicks like a motherfucker. But at the same time, he also thinks that he could kick my ass now. So he's starting to test me. He's like, he tested me this morning. And I told him to fucking walk home from school. And I was like, okay, you know, like, give me a little context here and all this other stuff. And he's like, oh, it's only a fucking mile, dude. Like, it's only a mile. But he wanted to get testy and all this other stuff and push boundaries. So I told him to walk his ass home or something. And he's telling me, okay.
That can be good if done the right way.
I agree. Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Look, if you don't appreciate what I do for you, then walk home today.
Absolutely.
See how you like that.
100% on board. I do not I'm on board with this. Yeah. And he's like, then he tells me that he's on the way home, driving home, and his wife calls. Well, I'm sure he fucking called his wife. The wife didn't just magically call at that moment. And he's like, yeah, fucking his son. I don't know his son's name. Let's call him Caden. I don't know. He's like, yeah, Caden's walking home from school, and the wife starts going off on the husband. What? Oh my God, you can't do that. That's abuse and all this other stuff. And what happens if all this other stuff? And that's what he's telling me. He's like, my wife's going crazy on me, and she's telling me I can't do these things to my son and X, Y, Z. So you're absolutely right. Like, women really don't know how to raise boys into men and X, Y, Z. I was like, well, you fucked up by kind of getting involved with a woman who didn't, like, that's your frame. There's no way, shape, or form that she should have been questioning.
And then being afraid of agitating your woman or being afraid of making her mad.
Right.
That's okay. It's okay to make her mad. Just don't bore her. Don't bore her. If she's like, oh my God, why is he walking home? And you're like, oh yeah, sorry, babe, I'll go get him.
Yeah, exactly.
Boring.
Don't
acquiesce. You're fucking boring then.
Don't acquiesce.
He wants to fuck Steve in accounting.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So yeah, it's okay that she isn't happy with you all the time. It's okay for her to be mad and upset. It's fine.
Yeah, and these ideals of being an alpha in your relationship, it doesn't always have to be that way where you're the hammer. That was my dad. My dad was the hammer. He looked at every situation as a nail, and he was like, oh, well, in order for me to be masculine, I got to fucking just go over here and fucking hammer it. You know what I mean? That's not necessarily the case. But, you should have a tool chest. As a man, you should have a tool chest. And whatever situation arises, you should have the right tool for that situation. It doesn't mean every single instance in life is going to require a hammer. Sometimes you need fucking sandpaper and you got to smooth things out. Sometimes you got to fucking pull out the mallet and you got to fucking break some concrete.
Some lube sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you need some caulk and you got to shut somebody up. You know what I'm saying? Like, be the fucking craftsman. Be the magician is what I like to say. But also be the craftsman, When it comes to your kids, you can't always respond with the same thing either. And it's the same thing with your woman. But you got to be the one to maintain it all.
Sometimes when the woman checks you like that, it's because she wants to make sure you know what you're doing.
That's exactly what it is.
Right?
Standard.
And if you're soft on, I'm like, listen, I know what I'm doing. I'm handling this. I'm not going to take him disrespecting me. It's only a mile. He's fine.
Right.
Like, then, yeah, that's the appropriate time to use the hammer.
Agreed.
Right? So sometimes they just want to know that you're in control.
I got it. Don't worry about it.
I got it, babe. Chill.
Exactly. Damn.
Because, yeah, competence, man, there's nothing that drives a vagina faster than incompetence in a male.
Agreed.
I was writing, I'm in the middle of writing, I'm about done with it, a little blog post I put up on my Patreon, my $10 Patreon tier. And it's basically about that. It's called Society Hates, what is it? Something like Society Hates Useless Men, something like that. Right. And basically I'm talking about how, if you're completely useless, society will hate you. You're worse than a villain, right? If you're, think about like a drug addict or homeless guy or whatever, somebody who poses no use to the society in whatever way. And then if you want to maintain a status of invisibility, you have to just be useful, right? Because it's expected of you as a man. You're expected to have some use.
For sure.
Otherwise you're dead weight. Like, think of millions of years of survival, right? If you had a guy in the group who didn't do shit, like, the group does not like that guy.
Yeah.
Because he poses a risk. He's using your resources.
I will tell you this from being in the military. If you are dead weight, we will cut you out as fast as possible, or at least try to.
Right. So this is internally ingrained in us as a part of survival.
Right. We're pack animals. We recognize when there's a weak link, and we fucking usually get rid of it.
So it's like, if you just want to not be hated, you have to be useful. So, like, if you want to get noticed, you want to get pats on the back, you want to be treated special, well, then you're going to have to be exceptional. You're going to have to cross that borderline and into greatness. So if you're not willing to do that, you're going to have to be okay with being invisible.
Insane. Yeah, I couldn't believe how I forgot in that moment too. Just because I've been talking to so many people that are in the red pill space, and just kind of like it's almost become just common tongue in a way, where I'm just like, oh yeah, you can just talk openly and freely about this stuff. Yeah. And then I'm sitting there out in fucking blue pill land in a fucking college.
Fucking uncomfortable as hell, man.
And the second,
one little thing on alpha, and I know one of my friends was just he just kept restating like his beliefs on alpha. I was like, I don't care. I was like, you don't have alpha doesn't mean imply good or bad. Right. Like, you can have a shitty alpha lion. He can be a real dickhead. right? He can kill a bunch
Absolutely.
of cubs. He can do awful things. He can have an alpha silverback that's a dick. Like, it doesn't mean
Yeah.
that you're good. It doesn't mean you're a leader.
Right. It just means you have the characteristics or the genetics
That have the most reaction, the most positive reactions to the females.
Oh yeah. Oh, my workouts lately have been fucking epic.
I've been getting back into jiu-jitsu the past few days.
Yeah, getting ready for a Fitch Smash. Fitch Smash.
My Fitch Smash. Well, I think I took Modern Life Dating John's body language course.
Yeah.
And it was really good. I
Yeah.
really liked it. That paired with the What Everybody Is Saying book, it's a book that I got on Amazon. It's I can't remember his name, but a lot of those guys talk about this guy. He's been on to some of the conventions and stuff about body language.
Oh, okay.
But I'm drawing a blank on his name.
The FBI interrogator guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's called What Everybody Is Saying.
Mm-hmm.
So if you pair those two together, like, you're next level samurai Jedi.
For sure.
As far as body language tagged. So I pick up on other people's body language better now because those things, and I consciously check my own frame and my body language sometimes, right? Because, like, maybe I'm in a hurry and I'm trying to get out of a place, but somebody generally is trying to come and connect with me and have a conversation, right? So, like, I'll be like, where are my feet? Where are my shoulders? Like, dude, like, fucking this person is trying to connect with you on a human level. Give them some fucking time.
Yeah,
right?
I feel it.
So, like, yeah, and that's the adult me. Because when I was a kid, I was just like, I want to get out of here, and you end up not remember anything in the conversation, and you wasted both your people's times.
Yeah, I've had the honor and the privilege to be a part of the webinars as well that he has. This is Modern Life Dating, Modern Life John on Twitter. He runs this body language mastery course that's only open once a quarter. So Q4 will be open, I believe, in December, and it's the last time you're going to be able to get it. So stay tuned for that. That's what John and I are talking about right now.
Yeah, and taking the course, I can see the possibilities. So I'm gonna start putting together a course of my own. I'm gonna put the Fitch Smash course together.
I like it.
So you'll be able to learn a basic systems of martial arts. We're always telling everybody, learn a martial art. Well,
Always.
You can spend years getting jiu-jitsu, getting a purple belt, and still not know how to fight. Right. So I want to fast forward button for guys, get them competent, get them a baseline structure to build off of. And then they can train all the other stuff too. And then add, it's like a base model car for your rice burner, right? Your rice rocket, whatever. And then you can put on the NOS and the fins and all the other stuff later. But I want to build you that frame.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so we're talking about how guys don't really have the passage of rights type into manhood anymore, right?
Yeah.
So I think one of the ways that you can get is through sports, right? If you're doing a lot of school sports, that's one of the ways to kind of progress and level up, right? You're forced into a position where you kind of level up. You go from junior high to high school, and then JV to varsity, and then maybe high school to college. But, like, a lot of people don't have that opportunity to even be in high school and do those sports. So again, martial arts training, I think, is one of the best ways you can go, because you can get to those type of things where you're eventually going to have to cross the line into a harder realm where you have to personally take on responsibility, right? When you're going out to maybe compete, I think that's kind of one of those things. When you're kind of going to compete at a high level as a teenager, you kind of have to kind of shed your childish things. You have to suck it up. You got to eat right. You got to do your workouts, and then you maybe have to take a loss. You might have to take a beating or whatever. So any of you who got a late start and never had the passage of rights, and you've never done a sport, well, maybe getting into a martial art is a good answer, a good fit for you.
I'm going to go farther than where you're at, because I take a harsh stance on this one. It is necessary, and it should be. If you want to master yourself, if you want to become better, this is not an option. Because giving guys an option in the sense of, like, oh, maybe I could do this or maybe I should, most people won't. Why? Because it's uncomfortable, and they're going to look stupid, and it's going to be painful.
That's the other reason why they should do it.
Go into the abyss.
Be uncomfortable.
Go into the abyss. This is the hero's journey. If this is us challenging you to step into part of what Joseph Campbell describes the hero's journey. And it is literally going and getting involved in martial arts and risking your life and risking your fucking physical health.
Risking your pride. People won't even risk their pride today.
That's true. I agree.
Fail often early.
It's because they're scared.
Yep.
It's scary, you know, especially in the world right now where
I think
it's
a lot of
social.
it too is
Everything is social, and it's almost in a way like a social suicide. That's what
that
people
millennial generation and the next one coming up, Generation Z or whatever. I think they've been so bubble wrapped in competition. You know, been protected from competition. Everybody's equal. We need equity. Everybody gets the same. You know, so I think
participation trophies.
And then they graduate and they get into the real world, and it's fucking cutthroat, and like people will step on you to make $1, and people are like, "What's going on?"
Well, now they're even trying to bubble wrap. They're even trying to bubble wrap society.
Maybe we should do social. Maybe we should have socialism.
Yeah, exactly.
That would make everybody equal.
School should be free.
No, you know why they want school to be free?
Tell me.
Because 2/3 of all school debt, school loan debt, is female.
Right.
They want to avoid. They want to whatever.
Well,
Give
I mean,
females another free pass. No more They don't want any accountability.
Zero. Right.
You chose a dumb major. You put money and time and energy into something stupid.
Well, it's especially these
Nobody
females
respects
too.
It. Nobody cares.
Most females probably assumed that, I can take on all this debt, and guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to find some guy. Yep, I'm going to find some guy, and he's going to pay for it all. Because that's what women defer to. Let's be honest. Like, that's their game plan. All I got to do is give some dude some pussy, get married to him, pop out some kids, and he's got to take over all my debt. Otherwise, daddy's got to do it. That's the game plan. Man, I actually had something right there that I was going to talk about. That was fire. It was a fire fucking topic. But I forgot it. I can't believe that happened. Normally pretty good. We were talking about schools and debt. What the fuck else were we talking about?
We were talking about requirement of martial arts training.
I think I was moving past that.
Putting yourself in uncomfortable positions always. That's why I think wrestling and jiu-jitsu are some of the best things for you to do. Weightlifting's the easiest.
Yeah.
Right. Weightlifting is the easiest because you can make yourself uncomfortable. It's the most, it's just you and the weight and gravity. That's one of the most basic, easiest ways to challenge yourself and put yourself in.
That should be the first step, though. I highly like if I talk to someone and I coach them on anything, the first thing I say is, get yourself into the gym and start lifting 3 days a week.
Resistance training.
And then we can get jiu-jitsu in there 2 times a week. And then
it's the easiest way to deal with adversity, and it's the fastest way to see results.
Exactly. You need to start your
2 weeks, you will notice.
You need to start your success spiral. And you start your success spiral by fucking getting into the gym. And not just that, your body is the vessel by which you interact with reality, man. You got to fucking get that body right. Like if that foundation is not taken care of, like that is the foundation. That is the first step. You got to take care of that body. You got to get rid of all the fucking muscle soreness and pains and imbalances. You know, I'm not even saying diet right now, which I will get into later on, but at least get in there first and start fucking lifting and fall in love with
your work day while you're sore. That's a little bit of adversity.
Oh, I mean, that shit sucks.
Like I've spent months just being sore, doing everything.
Right.
Not unusual. Just like everything hurts for months.
I used to have my rumble roller at the fucking office. And I would fucking roll out in the office, or my fucking Theracane or some shit like that, But you got to take care of that stuff. You've been talking about, do I even want to go there right now? The whole LeBron James China thing.
I did, yeah. That's ridiculous. The Chinese, the South Park China episode.
Oh,
you watched
dude,
that?
yeah. I was just about to bring. That's why I brought it up, dude. Brilliant. I didn't realize this until about fucking 2 or 3 weeks ago. I heard the rumor initially that China owns almost all of Hollywood. And the reason why all these SJW videos, all these SJW movies are even coming out and they're not getting good ratings in the box office is because it's all backed by China and all the scripts are being approved and pushed by China. The Chinese investors own most of this. It's crazy. We've never seen warfare like this before, people. where a foreign entity has now literally infiltrated our propaganda media and has started.
We're in the middle of World War III has already started.
I agree.
People don't even understand.
This is fucking
insane. Dude. All of this stuff. China is a problem. There's the fact that so many lunatics are screaming about climate change and nobody's pointing a finger at China.
Oh yeah, how fucking
awesome is
that?
It's incredible.
It's incredible. What an amazing distraction.
Like,
and it's so funny too, because these people are legitimate. These people are fucking communists too. Dude, Greta Thunberg, right? Let's call her by her.
Muslim concentration camps over there.
No shit.
Yeah, there's leaked videos. Right? Well, they're not even. They're Chinese Muslims. They're not even like somebody who came in. It's like somebody who was there. Somebody before them had converted a while ago. They're picking up because the religion's illegal there. Like the Christians are heavily persecuted there also. They're not putting them in concentration camps yet.
But they're stymieing
persecuted.
Them. Yeah, they're definitely. That's insane, dude. That's crazy. Yeah, Greta Thunberg and all these other people that are fucking at this G whatever summit and they're bitching and complaining about the fucking environment. Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's the second
but not
time
one of them.
A teenager to the UN to talk about the climate.
They want, the thing is, they'll sit there and they'll point at every other country that has the biggest fucking taxations, right? That has the biggest mass of people that are paying taxes, and they'll say, "Oh, you need to change your tune here, and you need to fix this and adjust your figures." But not once will they ever point the finger at China. That's creepy, dude. You want to know who has the power in any situation? Look at those that can't be fucking criticized, right? And it's the same thing with women in our society right now. You can't criticize women in public. You can't criticize women in the open field.
Their behavior.
You can't criticize the Chinese right now either. Look at what's going on here.
Yeah, somebody. I'm gonna look at my Twitter.
South Park had some balls to go and do that shit though.
This is proof of what you're talking about here, right? So, man, somebody tweeted this thing about they're talking about single moms and whatever, and how they never get any fingers pointed at them. Right? It's always the dad. It's always the shitty dad. We're like, unless they were raped, it was the woman's decision. It was her choice to sleep with that person. She allowed that person to penetrate them. She's the one that accepted the child. Like, she's responsible. She either was tricked or made a mistake. Either way, that means she has bad judgment, right? She fucked up. It's her fault.
Right.
So, like, somebody was pointing that out, and then some girl, of course, topped on. She's like, "Men change. I was molested on and off for 8 years. It's not my mom's fault." I was like, how did this guy get access to you?
Yeah.
Who chose? Did you choose? Did he choose on himself? Did he kick the door open?
Right.
No. Your mother let him in the house.
It is scientifically proven. If you look at this, it's scientifically proven.
The ridiculousness.
Hear me out on this. It is scientifically proven that when a woman divorces her husband, right, and they bring other men into the fold, especially if that guy is not genetically related to the female, right, the daughter, that I think it's like a fucking 60 to 70% likelihood that man is going to do something sexual to that girl. Plain and simple. It's insane. Like, and women are literally just opening the door for that kind of trauma to occur. Like, the simple solution is find a good man to procreate with and try to do your best to stay with them, and that way your kids aren't going to be
choose better. What's wrong with that?
Well, we can't say that to women because our society, as we can see by this justice system that we have right now, we do not hold women accountable for their actions. Our society right now believes that women have no moral agency, that they are just these little woo-woo, fluffy little like floaty butterflies that just they don't have a grasp on reality, so we have to take care of them. But the reality is they're goddamn witches, right? They're going to present to you with their fucking crocodile tears and their sexuality, right? Because those are their two weapons aside from guilt and shame. And they're going to manipulate you into believing this idealistic version of themselves. But in reality, they're just like everybody else that has a will to power. Nietzsche has it right. Every single organism on this planet has some fucking will to power. They want to rise to the top. They want to get what they can get, right? Plain and simple.
That comes down to survival.
Exactly. I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying you got to be aware of this shit.
No, yeah, you have to be aware. Yeah, this isn't an attack on women because men are doing the same shit. Like, we're trying to get the most out of the
But the problem is guys have been fucking brought up to believe that women don't have that drive, that this is just a masculine attribute, this will to power. It's not.
Yeah,
it's every single fucking organism.
More like little girls. Like men need to act more like women.
Right.
That tells you everything you need to know. Why? I've known some really shitty women.
I agree.
Like, why should men be like those shitty women? Like,
men operate overtly, women operate covertly. The thing is that most people, especially men, were so stupid to believe that women are going to just operate overtly. They don't. They don't operate in the plane of plain sight. They operate behind the fucking weeds, right? That they operate in the emotional realm. You got to understand.
My ex, we were living in Vegas. Like if I would have stayed in Vegas, if I just would have stayed in Vegas, we would have lived in Vegas. We would have had to stay in Vegas. She couldn't have just left and taken the kids, right? There's certain laws about moving out of state, right? So before I knew there was any problems with the relationship, she had already started putting pressure to move us back to San Jose. You know, giving me the whole sob story about, I need to be closer to my family, blah, 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 blah. No, it was, you know, the divorce laws are much more beneficial in California, and she didn't want to get stuck in Nevada, where I would have had a great fucking time. I would have been great in Nevada. No problem with Vegas. I would have had a pretty good time being single in Las Vegas, I think.
Yeah, but she wanted to move you to the soy capital of the world.
So I moved to the soy capital of the world. I'm now stuck here for, you know, another how many years? 11, 12, 14 years, some shit.
Jesus. We have a question in the queue here. It says, would Jon ever fight in one championship? I don't know what the fuck that means, because haven't you
one
fought
FC? I haven't fought in one FC, yeah.
You have fought that before?
No. That's the organization in Singapore.
Yeah.
But probably not. I don't know. I might be done. I'm waiting around to hear what happens with this Rory McDonald fight, and him and Lima. Let's try to see if I can finagle a fight with the winner. That would be the fight to take if I need to. But I don't know, man. The sport of MMA is so unrewarding, and you know, it's I don't know if I want to do it, because it's just
too political. It's
too political. The amount of effort you put in to get a little back. It's like I'm going back to return on investment. Does it, like, the return on investment in an 8-week training camp, is that as good as 8 weeks of something else, writing a book or because, like, quite honestly, I mean, I've been doing it 17 years. I make right now my base is 63 and 63. So 63 to win, 63 to show, 63 to win, right? So I have to win to make the 126. That's before taxes and paying everybody out.
Ugh.
Right. So, like, and I might not even win. Like, it could be like the last fight where the judges screw up and, it's a draw. Well, I didn't win, so I don't get the win bonus. Is it worth that amount of is it worth 3 months of training camp? Is it worth getting punched and kicked in the head for $63,000 before taxes and paying everybody out? Right. Like, you're looking at what, 40 grand if maybe 15, you're walking away from it in a situation like that. So, like, what's is it really worth it these days? I don't know. If we were a free market and we operated under a free market, that's a different story.
For sure. Like, right now, I'd love to go and fight.
Sidetrack.
I was thinking about this the other day, like, having our own, like, streamed fights.
Well, I've done. I do watch-alongs sometimes. Me and I have a podcast, Fitch and Tinkle Smash Everything. It's like on Podbean and iTunes and everything. But we do watch-alongs sometimes. So we'll watch the fights and we'll do a little podcast while the fights are on. No,
I'm talking like underground fighting, like guys getting together. Because I got some people. I got some people I want to call out right now. Yeah, in the manosphere, where I'm like, I'd love to just put you on camera and see what you're really fucking made of, you little bitch. And I don't do that a lot with people.
There's grappling. It's a possibility. I've been doing more jiu-jitsu. I may try to get into some super fights, maybe. Yeah. Because 5 or 10 grand to grapple, that seems like I could do that.
For sure.
I just have to be confident with these little fuckers grabbing my ankles.
Ugh, that's the most annoying part.
That's the big thing now. That's what everybody does, dude. It's all guard pulling and ankles.
Yep. It's tricky.
Yeah.
Just sitting in the 50-50 pretty much the whole time and then sneaking through.
Yeah.
What are John's thoughts on BJ Penn's Hawaii street fight, and what kind of guy was he last? Was he last MMA? Oh, okay. And what kind of guy was he?
I mean, BJ was all right. I don't have any dislike for him now. I think there was a time where I was really angry with him, but it wasn't because of him. I think it was because you could see preferential treatment that the company gave some people over others, and it's very frustrating, you know.
Yeah.
To see some guys struggle who were better fighters than other guys, but the other guys are company guys. They keep their mouths shut. They do the whatever stuff, so they get pushed ahead. So there was anger a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was, you know, it was pointed in the wrong direction. It wasn't his
Sure.
fault. Like, he's just taking advantage of a situation. It's like, you leave a piece of chicken on the floor and your dog eats it. You're really going to get angry?
Right. Yeah. I mean, man, what a crazy world that is. You know, I forget in the conversations that we have, I forget that you were fucking even a UFC fighter, because we're just kind of like, we're just mainly talking about like real deal shit, like here and now, which is what I actually I enjoy as well. Fuck. Where were we before all that?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, yeah. The sports worlds have been getting feminized too, though. So you got to be careful there too.
I try not to. Like when I'm in a barbershop, or if I'm in like, actually my gym here at my apartment complex is sick. It's like state of the art. It's like being at a fucking better than a 90 or LA Fitness or 24 hour. And they'll have, because the owner of it here, he actually works for the Clippers now as one of their main whatever, but they'll have like basketball and sports center on 24/7 kind of deal. And I'm just sitting there and like, I'll start glancing and I'll see the stuff that's being talked about. And I'm just, I'm amazed at the types of topics. It's crazy because it's dramatized. It's meant to be like an emotional feed now. They're sitting there, they're talking about athlete style, what they said on Twitter, what's going on outside of the sports world. Like, it is completely appealed to like the feminine emotion. And now you see like these good-looking women that go ahead.
There's a reason for this.
Yeah, that's
right. Ready? It's because women are the key to consumerism.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? They're the ones who control the most money. They're the ones who spend the most money. They're the ones who buy the most things. So that's what all the marketers and advertisers are doing. They're shifting everything more towards a feminine approach to attract more women.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the big reasons why UFC pushed Ronda Rousey, and you know, they ran with the pro wrestling stuff once they started getting the women involved. Like, they love the back and forth, the heels, all that stuff, you know, rather than the cut and dry sports of the 80s.
Yeah. Well, you know, consumerism used to be to the point where like there were just man things and then there were just female things. And now it's like, oh no, like everyone can kind of tie into it. I'll give you another for instance.
There are no just man things, and there's plenty of just women things still.
That's true. It's like I'm a bow hunter, so I follow a few bow hunting things on Instagram. And most of the pictures now, like I'll openly admit this, I have yet to ever kill a buck. I've never fucking killed a buck. Every single time I've gone out into the woods and hunted, I've yet to get close enough to a buck with a bow to be able to actually slay a buck. And it's like one of my dreams to do. But yet here I'll see this fucking cute little 18 to 20-year-old girl who just got into bow hunting because she saw a niche for her to be able to grow her Instagram following, and all these fucking fucks just hop on there and like, oh, I'll take you under my wing and take you hunting and all this other stuff so that she can get her fucking photo. And then right there on hashtag bow hunting is this fucking super cute girl pulling and drawing her bow back and like telling her fucking story about her adversity and how she's all this other shit. You know, I go and smoke cigars every once in a while too. I like smoking cigars every once in a while. Just enjoy the ambiance. I enjoy the you know, it's just manly to me. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah. And the past few times that I've gone, there have been girls in the fucking cigar shop, the lounge, sitting there smoking and watching football. And it's almost like, fuck, what the fuck, dude? Like, it's insane. Like, and I just kind of hit the nail on the head, I believe, when it comes to it. It's these women that are looking to like adopt some kind of like niche environment for them to be like the ones, if that makes sense, where they can be the prime females there to kind of soak up and
stand
absorb.
out from the pack.
Exactly. It's sad. And then the last thing I want to bring up with that is this. Notice how many men are now in makeup commercials. The makeup companies have realized, oh shoot, we're missing out on an entirely like half the market. So now you see all these flamboyantly gay people that are in these makeup ads because it's like, all right, boys, all right, gents. Even men that aren't even gay are buying into makeup where they're covering up their zits and stuff like that so that they could look fucking picture ready at any moment.
Hey guys, if you got zits, eat better.
Eat better.
Eat
I'm
better.
reading a book
Eat
right
better.
now. I just started listening.
And
I
if
just
you're
started
not
listening to this
going
one
through your
guy.
puberty,
Fuck, I forgot the
better.
name. I forgot the name of the author. I just saw him on fucking what's it called theory, but I'm reading this book right now. It's called The Longevity Paradox. Who's it by? Let's get his name right. Stephen R. Gundry. And what he talks about is how your skin looks on the outside is a representation of your gut lining.
100%.
It's a representation of the bacteria and the surrounding within your gut. And the only way to fix your gut bacteria is probiotics, getting the good fucking bacteria and microbiome kind of aspects of it going on.
Where do the bad biotics come from in your stomach? Probiotics in your stomach, whatever. Sugar.
Oh dang, yeah, that's a huge
Sugar.
Huge one.
Like you have two sets of the whatever. I've seen the positive, the negative, whatever gut bacteria.
Yeah.
The negative gut bacteria is they feed off the sugar and get bigger, and they outnumber the good ones.
Yeah.
Right. So these girls, you have tons of makeup on. They're spending shitload of money on all the skincare products, and they're eating pastries.
Right. Or they're getting fucking frappuccinos every goddamn morning.
Yeah,
like that, dude. You are literally consuming a milkshake
with caffeine.
Yeah. I mean, who in their right mind would sit here and say this is a good start to my morning? Like your parents would never allow you to just reach into the fucking freezer in the morning and then grab a fucking half gallon or gallon of whole milk and just pour it all into a blender with fucking Hershey's syrup and caramel and then whipped cream and walk out the fucking door. You know what I mean? But when you go to Starbucks because it's got some coffee in it, oh my goodness. Now, okay, now it's good for me. Now, like, this is a good
poison, guys.
Dude, literally fucking crazy.
Sugar
Question for
poison.
Corey
Fat
or
is
both.
good.
Corey or both you. Your channel mentions the OMAD diet. What's the best ideal meal for OMAD? I played around with OMAD when I first started this channel to kind of like kick it off. You know, I'd watched a few different people and they talk about how OMAD for people from like ages 35 and on up is actually a pretty good diet for you to adopt because of hormone changes and all this other stuff. You can watch some of my videos where I talk about it. I stopped doing that pretty much like 15 days in. My hormones.
The base of the OMAD.
OMAD is 1 meal a day. Eating 1 meal a day, and I tried to stuff all of my macros into 1 meal. Eating like over an hour to an hour and a half.
What's his name? I'm total drawing a blank on his name. The man, he was a Heisman Trophy winner. He played for the Cowboys and he fought a couple Bellator fights.
I don't know that guy.
God. Super famous dude.
Really?
But anyways, he's like that. He's a freak. He eats like 1 meal a day and it's like soups or salads. Yeah.
Huh. I'm trying to look his name up right now, but I don't fucking no idea. Not having luck.
Yeah, why am I he sent a wedding gift. I have bowls from him.
Greg Hardy?
No. This is back
Nope, that's all I got. Who also found success? Dallas Cowboys, Carolina defense. Here, I think it's gonna be right here. Greg Hardy, Bob Sapp, Wes Shivers, Herschel Walker, Marcus Jones.
Herschel Walker.
Yeah, there we go. That's who I figured it was. I didn't know he became a fighter.
He fought 2.
2
At
fights.
like
Yep.
almost 50. He's like 45,
No shit.
50 when he did it.
At 47, he
He's a
competed in
freak.
Strikeforce and won. He was
47.
2-0. Yeah.
Yep.
U.S.
He
bobsled team too. So he's a Heisman
yeah,
Trophy winner.
yeah.
Played 11 years in the fucking NFL.
NFL.
God damn, that's a long
Yep.
time too.
Yep.
And then competed in the Olympics and then Strikeforce. That's insane.
Insane.
Yeah, they do show studies that the older you get, the better OMAD is for you. But for me personally, I'm 34, and I would even consider myself that my health is probably that of younger than that.
He also never lifted weights his entire life.
That's fucking insane.
He does
he's
push-ups,
just a genetic
sit-ups,
freak.
body weight. Yep.
Yeah,
He does like
no.
1,000 push-ups a day.
Can't do that.
It's crazy.
It's not my body type. I got
He's freaking like he also did a bunch of military like stress tests, and he
insane.
like was off the charts.
Yeah.
He was like one of the highest scoring guys off these like military stress tests he did.
That's so fucking cool. That's epic. That is really
like,
amazing.
This is the guy that we got to make sure China doesn't like steal his DNA. Because they're gonna be
put it in the
could you
fucking
imagine,
chimeras and shit.
Yeah, could you imagine that guy freaking cloned? Imagine an army of hundreds of thousands of those guys. Holy Jesus!
That's insane.
Like
That is
if they only had to eat,
insane.
if they only had to eat one meal a day, like think about how much you would save and how much
of it though do you think is environmental though? Like meaning like instead of nature versus nurture, like there had to have been some kind of like mindset that he adopted earlier on in life that kind of set these things.
Yeah, he was born dirt ass poor. Probably didn't have shoes till he was a teenager type of shit.
Right.
So he had to like he didn't lift weights because he couldn't afford them.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Got all sorts of crazy questions. He said, "Are the ring girls brain dead, hired guns, and what kind of men were they chasing after? Who cares? Those girls are thoughts, dude. You know exactly what they are. You know exactly what.
I never paid any attention to them.
You were married the whole time too.
Yeah, I had a girl kind of the whole time.
Yeah,
but at the same time, it was. Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't. I didn't understand game at all at the time, right? I was the type of guy who was like, I'm awesome. Awesome girls just gonna come to me.
Who do you think is banging those girls though? That is a good question. I've always wondered that.
No, well, like Ariana got banged by a bunch of dudes, bunch of fighters.
I bet you fucking.
She got passed around.
I bet you Dana White's fucking hit all those. I would be doing like casting couch type shit if I were in Dana's position.
No, that's the rumors. That's like everybody was wondering. There was people asking. I had emails to me from journalists asking about any news I had or information I had on Me Too type things about Dana White.
Ugh,
or people in the
garbage.
There was they had this old girl Edith. Was one of the ring card girls, and the rumor was she was an escort up in Canada, like Calgary or something like that. And that's how they met her and found her. But then they ended up having to get rid of her because people started finding stuff.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy how things. Have you seen that recent article on the woman who is a lawyer? She's a lawyer, a mother. She's married, and she's also an escort. In Nevada. Have you seen that? Dude, epic. Like, absolutely insane. That video you sent me too on the fucking sugar daddy scam, holy crap, that fucking sent chills up my damn spine, dude.
That's so many dudes probably getting played like that. Catfish.
Insane.
Like it's one thing as it is it's one thing as a bad enough that sugar daddy type stuff, these guys pay girls a monthly salary. They meet up, have dinner with them like once in a while.
And give them money. And just hand them money.
Yeah, just pay them money. And I don't even know if there's any I don't know how much physical whatever stuff is involved even. It may just be like they're hanging out. I would think so, but you think so, and I would think so because of how we are. Like I'm getting something out of this. But these guys, they're pretty beta. They're pretty weak.
Oh, for sure.
They're not gonna meet girls anyway. So like a dinner date with a pretty girl, that might be worth $1,000 a month to these guys.
I was banging this girl back in 2008, right after I came back from Iraq. It was 2010. Yeah, it was 2010. That's when I actually started getting into fighting. I was fighting pretty much almost full time. And I met these two girls at my MMA gym. And one of them was a sugar baby. She had just gotten involved with it, and she hit me up, and I went over there. And this dude literally bought her a brand new Mini Cooper. That's all she wanted. He was going to pay for all her school. He was paying for her apartment. In this like really nice place in Carlsbad. And then she got her titties done. I met her pre-tit job, and then I came over there literally the fucking night after she got her tits done, and she sucked my dick. It was amazing. Got to fucking play with the titties a little bit. New titties. So I got to play with him before he even did. Where was I going with this? But, oh yeah, it was just insane. This dude was a multimillionaire, fucking whatever. Saw him a couple times. Total goob. But it reached a point where he knew that I was coming over, and he like cut her off kind of deal. Said it's either like him or me or whatever. And of course she went with the money, which is fine. But yeah, that's absolutely insane. There's a point I wanted to bring up though. What were your thoughts? So we talked about this. YouTube, if you go and you look at sugar daddy scams right now, for those listening, if you go and look at sugar daddy scam 2019, you will see video after video after video after video with thousands and thousands of views. And it's all these young, cute girls that just want to be fucking little dirty whores that are cute and whatever, right? And they don't want to fucking work. Just sitting there laughing at how easy it is to take money from guys. Yep. What are your views on YouTube silencing people like that?
Okay, so I don't think anybody should be silenced, but I think it's very hypocritical to block somebody's political view, to demonetize somebody because they have trigger subjects you don't want people to talk about or whatever. I mean, there needs to be consistency. You're gonna have to do it across the board. That's my thing. If you're doing it to one group, you have to do it to every group.
I agree.
You have to decide on whether or not you are a publisher or not. Do you take responsibility for any of this stuff being published on your platform? Are you a publisher? Which one is it?
Yeah.
Those make a difference. And then we're going to see some of that stuff all play out in the court cases that are going on right now, because there's some big ones that are going on. I think there was a I don't know if he's a congressman. There was somebody, I can't remember his name. He was suing based off of a fake account. But he's not suing based off of the account. He's suing them based off of neglect from like not enforcing the rules evenly. So like he got in with a technicality, I think. So we'll have to kind of pay attention. I can't remember who that was, but it was something about they made a fake account with his mom or a cow or something like that. Yeah, I can't remember who exactly it was, but.
My stance on this situation is this, and I know a lot of people out there will probably be frustrated. Like I kind of saw, when I presented this to a group of dudes, they're like, "Oh, fuck that! Like they should get demonetized, and they should, like this shouldn't be on there." And I'm completely against that. I 100% believe that they have every right in the world to be able to go and do it. Just like I believe pickup artists should be able to sit there and fucking tell you how to fucking spit game, like plain and simple. Let them do it.
We need to take it up and like talk to each other, guys. Tell your buddies, like, stop doing this shit. Like,
right.
Knock it off.
The best defense from falling into traps like this is just to learn lessons from men like myself and what Jon are talking about, to learn these lessons. And the thing is too, my whole thing is this: there's always going to be people out there that are going to get scammed like this. There's always going to be incels. There's always going to be fucking
born every minute.
Absolutely. And the answer is not to block them and to get rid of and put all those other people in jail, because whenever there's a vacuum of power, someone's going to rise and fill the void.
Yep.
That would be denying somebody the lesson to learn. I know that sounds crazy. It's like, but the thing is, and I talk about this often, most guys will not learn a lesson. I heard an amazing.
Most people, yeah.
I heard an amazing quote the other day. Let me try to formulate it in my head again. It's in relation to school, but men don't learn from learning a lesson and then being tested. They learn from being tested, and that's where the lesson is learned. We learn from being tested first, and that's how the lesson is taught to us, right? And that's the thing, is like you're being tested with your desires, right? You're coming across this girl, it seems too good to be true, and she's like, "Hey, give me money, and I'll give this to you." You know, what's your value? Where do your values stand? You know, what are you gonna do and all this other stuff? It's wildly insane. And you know, it takes some people to either learn and some people don't. It's all good.
I think if guys are bored, one fun thing to do is to mess with these people. You can reverse catfish them. Let them think that you're gonna be that guy. You're gonna be the sugar daddy. But just mess with them. Just mess with them. Waste their time. I think as much time as you take up of theirs, it's less time they can scam on people. Some girl is trying to hit me up for in my DMs. I think I tweeted out what she asked me for. She's like, "Oh, I'm running low on money. I'm running low on funds, and I got a modeling gig coming soon, so I could pay you back. But you know, can you just get $200? I know it's no big deal for you." And I was like,
sure, yeah, come here, come and meet me at the mall over here.
I was like, no, as soon as I get my check from my friend who's a Nigerian prince. She's like, "Oh, really? How long do you think that will take?"
Yeah.
Guys.
I think I heard Donovan Sharpe tell a story like this one time where he was dating this one girl. I think it was either that or it was AMS. Maybe it was AMS. And he was telling me how he kind of got suckered by this one, or telling me, he was telling the group about how he kind of got, not scammed, but like he got played by this one chick, right? He was supposed to meet up with this one girl. And she's like, yeah, meet me here at 1:00. And he like gets close to where he is. And he's like, all right, where are you? I don't see you. And she's like, oh, sorry, I'm with my girl over here. We're over here doing this, whatever. And he's like, all right, I'm over here now. Like, where are you? She's like, oh, you know, I went and did this. And then he tells a story about how like he started to kind of become a little bit more popular and all this other crap. And this girl hits him back up. And he's like, oh, yeah, you know, let's go. Like, I want to take you out to the club, girl, but first I want to get you this like super hot dress to make sure, because you know I'm popular now, so I need to like make sure you're looking fresh as fuck. She's like, oh damn, all right, baby, like all right, cool. He's like, all right, cool. Why don't you meet me at this mall at like 1:00? And she's like, all right, baby, I'm here at 1. You know, I'm here. Like, where are you at? He's like, that mall? I told you to meet me over at this place over here. What are you talking about? She's like, oh, okay, I'll be there in like 20 minutes. All right, good, cool. You know, like, dude. Exactly what you're saying, man. Like, you guys can absolutely 100%. Yeah, absolutely. That's a place of power for sure. You know, fucking crazy.
We should come up with a game show or something. Trick or Tot.
Oh
the Trick
yeah.
Tot Award. Right.
That'd be so epic.
If you can show us how you trick the tot.
Put it on YouTube and get demonetized within a minute.
Yeah.
It sucks, dude. Like
a t-shirt to you or something. We'll make
yeah, that would be considered manipulation. That would be considered cruel and mean.
Now you're cruel and manipulating somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, like that video I sent you was Luke We Are Chain was covering it, and this girl was like bragging about ripping off sad lonely dudes.
That bitch, dude. That bitch. And then literally.
And at the end of the video, this is the kicker. This is the kicker of the video. At the end, she's like, leave comment in the comment section. Tell me your story about how you were whatever.
Scamming these dudes.
You were damaged. Like, tell me about your what's the word? Your trauma type thing, right?
Oh, like she's a victim.
At the end of it, she was the victim.
Did you hear that bitch talking too? She's making all this money and she's living with her aunt and she wouldn't even fucking pay for toilet paper.
Yeah.
Like this is the fucking
entitlement. She came up with the scam. She came up with the scam because her aunt wanted to start, you know, hey, help her on the house. She's like, I ain't doing that. I'm trying to clout chase and be out with these people and do whatever.
Yeah, like I need to have a fresh fucking outfit every single time. And she's like, I wear designer.
She blew all her money.
Right.
So like all the money she scammed anyways. Like she could have built something even with this, but she didn't. She just, oh my God.
I fucking hate people like that. I hate people like that, dude. Honestly, like.
You know how you talk?
You know how you talk about like this user, like the person that just kind of sitting there and they're not doing anything. Yeah, that's the type. Like, I would love to have.
You're a lamprey. You know what a lamprey is?
No, tell me.
It's the little sucker fish that sticks on the edge of the shark and like.
Oh no shit.
Cleans it and eats shit off of it. Like if it wasn't for the shark, it would just be dead.
Ugh. Yeah, that chick should not be part of our civilization. Plain and simple. No, I'm serious. Like we need to fucking take harsher fucking.
The thing is that girl has a huge following on YouTube.
Yeah, that video
right?
when Homeboy put it on his,
like 250,000.
She had like 12K views on that one video
Was it
from
12K?
him.
Okay.
Yeah, no, 12K views. I don't know how many people she has.
Oh, that
following.
his video. Yeah, no, like
Right.
I saw you can see in the corner. It was like 200,000 something.
Oh my
I don't know if it
god.
was followers or views. Like it was like
Maybe yeah.
it's so she has a big channel. This is like a popular YouTube person.
Ugh, I hate it.
And
I
she's
hate
talking
it.
about crime. Like who else is allowed to? That's one of the problems too, I think, because like maybe that could you could shut it down for that reason. If it's legitimate crime, like I shouldn't be here telling you how to rob a bank or how to like you know kill somebody or like how to steal. Oh,
But
this
John,
is
do
how
you think
you
in the world today
avoid
though?
your taxes. This is how
Yeah.
you.
Do you
This is
think
how
in the world
you.
today that anybody would even consider that a crime? Like people, it's so funny to consider men stupid. And that's why it's so popular because these girls are like, ha ha
Exactly.
ha ha, like
We
those guys
tricked
are
that
so
dumb
stupid.
guy.
Like, yeah,
We tricked
it's
the
cool.
oppressor because they're so
Yeah.
evil.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, then you tie in the whole fucking Peter Griffin, Homer Simpson, Ray Romano
Yep.
type of
Yeah.
archetypes that have been presented to these girls. It's like that's what men
Well,
are.
they're raised to think the men are the enemy. Like we've oppressed them. We've
Right.
been oppressing women for eons,
It's
and
not
that's
true.
why they're back, being held back. Rather than no, we work together as a team to survive,
Right.
successfully. For
And as a
millions
matter
of
of fact, I would even say that men at large have gotten the short end of the stick.
we are the ones who die more often. We're the ones who take the risk, and everybody
We
benefits
undergo
off
a
of.
lot more discomfort and pain and suffering, I would say. We've kind of created a civilization where we've allowed women to be a little bit more catered to. I mean, sure, pushing out a baby, awesome. Yeah, okay, I get it. That sucks. Right now, I can't fathom the feeling of doing something like that, right? Well,
Well, I
one, because
mean,
I'm not designed to.
childbirth has gotten a lot easier too. Like it used to be like one in four births was like somebody died.
Yeah, something along those lines.
It was not easy. Like
Yeah, now bitches are getting
people used
push
to remarry
presents.
a lot. Yeah,
Now women are getting push presents. I
push
don't know if you
presents.
ever heard of this shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because
Oh, I had
the
a lot
husband
of people-
feels guilty that he wasn't the one pushing the kid out, so therefore he has to get her a gift to make her feel better about going through some discomfort. It's like, you fucking dumb assholes. You know what my woman's push present's gonna be? It's gonna be the fucking skull.
baby?
It's gonna
The
be
baby?
yeah. It's gonna be the head of a fucking stag. I'm going hunting when my son's born. Just like fucking Robert Baratheon in Game of Thrones. I know you're not a Game of Thrones watcher, but that's cool. I'm gonna bring a pelt.
All right. Well, we've got to start wrapping it up here.
Let's do it. Yeah, go bring the kids the jits. I gotta take a leak
Yep.
anyway. Gentlemen,
Got
bum,
another one
bum,
in the
bum,
books.
huge fucking announcement. You probably heard me talk about it at the beginning of this, but WarTribe, thewartribe.com is now up and running. I have a few people in the queue right now that are already members. It is a forum where we discuss these topics that we're discussing right now. You're going to be able to get fucking no kidding advice on how to fix your life, how to unfuck your life, and it's there where you're going to be able to no kidding look at it all the time. I also have private coaching packages if you so desire. Also, I am offering an incentive right now for whoever comes and joins. It's only $20 a month to be part of this. You will get a free copy of my first book, Live Your Best Life in 30 Days, as well as being within this. And you could probably ask anybody who's in my group right now. I post quite a bit, and I also respond pretty quickly as well. So you are practically getting direct access to me, on top of the fact that I'm bringing a few other people in as well to be part of this opportunity. So you're going to have access to those people as well to help you grow in those environments. Please do right now go over to thewartribe.com and become a member. This is where the revolution is beginning. I promise you that. With that said, Mr. John Fitch, what do you got for us?
November 2nd, I will be in San Diego at the arena doing a Fitch Smash seminar. I did some updates to my website, johnfitch.net, but I'm going to make some more changes. Just working on some bugs. I can be contacted through the website for seminars. If you're local, we can do small groups, private, stuff like that. You go to my Patreon, patreon.com/John Fitch. I've got technique, some diet stuff, some lifting stuff, and then I've got some blogs stuff I'm writing on there too. A lot of cool stuff. I had my first level 3 tier member join the other day, and he got a poster sent out to him as a part of joining that tier.
That's epic.
So yeah, got some stuff going on. More stuff to come. I'm working on I'm gonna start putting together a online course in order to get level 1 certification.
Beautiful.
Smash.
Beautiful. I love it. If you didn't catch any of that stuff, and if you're not watching this live, obviously do scroll down in the description where you will find the links to all of what Jon said and all of what I said as well. So please do that. You can find Jon and I next live on Saturday morning at 9:30 Pacific Standard Time for our next episode of Red Pill Smash Bros. Please join us then. It was good seeing you guys today. Take care.